For years, I thought I was being clever with my cash ISA, no tax, guaranteed interest, zero risk. I told myself I was saving smart. But one day, I actually ran the numbers and realized I'd been parking my money in reverse. So I pulled the plug. And in this video, I'll show you why I stopped using a cash ISA, what I switched to instead, and how I now use my ISA allowance to build real wealth automatically. Let's start with the obvious. Cash ISAs sound great. No tax on interest. Up to £20,000 per year allowance. And they're practically risk-free. That's exactly why they're so popular. Over £280 billion sits in them right now. But here's what most people miss. If you're a basic rate taxpayer in the UK, you already get a £1,000 savings allowance every year. That means you can earn up to £1,000 in interest, tax-free, from a normal savings account. So if your cash ISA is earning 5%, you'd need over $20,000 saved before the tax-free part even matters. And here's the kicker. Cash ISAs often pay worse interest than regular savings accounts. So even though you're avoiding tax, you're earning less money overall. It's like dodging a toll road that gets you there faster and choosing the longer, bumpier route to save 60 pence. What changed for me? I'd been saving regularly, slowly building up my emergency fund in a cash ISA. One evening, I opened my banking app and saw £3.17 in interest. £3.17. After months of diligent saving, that was my moment. Not because the number was small, but because I realized this is never going to grow into freedom. I wasn't investing. I was just hoarding cash in a tax-free box, hoping it would somehow multiply. Spoiler, it doesn't. So I started digging, not into crypto hype or stock-picking forums, but into systems, strategies that quietly build wealth while you live your life. I switched to a stocks and shares ISA, still tax-free, but instead of interest from a bank, my money now earns dividends and capital growth from actual investments. I didn't go all in on individual stocks. I went for low-cost index funds, the kind that track the entire global market, like VWRL or a FTSE Global All-Cap ETF. These funds average 6 to 8% returns over the long term, some years more, some less, but over time, they grow and they compound. To be clear, it's not risk-free. The value can go down, but history shows if you leave your money in for 10 years or more, it has almost always gone up. That's what I was missing with my cash ISA. Growth. Here's exactly how I automated the whole thing. I set up a monthly direct debit to my stocks and shares ISA on the first of the month. Pay yourself first. I use Vanguard for simplicity, but you could also use Trading 212, Freetrade, or AJ Bell. I invest in a globally diversified ETF. No picking stocks, no market timing. I leave it alone. That's the key. I track my progress once a month using a free spreadsheet and set it to ignore the noise. This system takes me less than 15 minutes a month to maintain. And unlike my cash ISA, it's not just protecting my money, it's growing it. Of course, I still keep an emergency fund, around 3 to 6 months of expenses. But now, I keep that cash in a high-interest savings account outside of my ISA. Why? Because that cash is for access, not growth. And I want to keep my full £20,000 ISA allowance focused on long-term wealth, not short-term cash. There are situations where a cash ISA still makes sense. If you're a higher-rate taxpayer with a large emergency fund, if you've already maxed out other high-interest accounts, or if you want a simple way to separate savings from spending. But for most people, especially in their 20s, 30s, or 40s, a cash ISA is like trying to grow a forest with a watering can. It's safe, but it's slow. The truth is, most people aren't building wealth, they're just avoiding risk. But that fear comes at a cost. A £10,000 cash ISA might earn you £400 this year. A £10,000 stocks and shares ISA, growing at 7%, becomes £19,671 in 10 years. Same allowance. Very different future. So if you're still using a cash ISA, ask yourself why. If it's for safety, fine. But if you think it's helping you grow wealth, it might be time to reconsider. I stopped using mine. I built a simple system with a stocks and shares ISA, and now, instead of just protecting money from tax, I'm watching it grow, tax-free. If you want to learn more about how I invest or see a breakdown of my actual portfolio, hit subscribe. And let me know in the comments, are you still using a cash ISA?